Hi.
I'm on fire. Fire side.
Have you ever gone to the paint store to get a particular color?
Yeah.
So do you know how paint is made?
Isn't it made from like just the primary colors? And then all of those colors are mixed together.
Know this?
Yeah.
Okay, so
this is like Art 101.
I went to the paint store and I had a swatch and I was like, I want this color.
Okay.
Every tub that is in there starts white, and then the swatch is like a pre-programmed like ratio of primary colors, and then they put the white thing in and then it squirts out the code basically of like the color combo.
Like there's so many different paint colors out there. Like, did you think that there was going to be a giant can of every single color on the shelf?
I thought there would be an enormous warehouse.
Oh.
I didn't think I was going to get it immediately. I thought they'd be like, okay, you have to order it and then we're going to like send it to you because yes, there's so many colors.
Oh.
I feel dumb. We're going to get started because we have some things to do. Okay, we're going to do a 30-minute full body. We're going to start in a high kneel position, and I want you to bring your arms to a goalpost position so that your elbows are in line with your shoulders. And we're just going to start with a little cat-cow in this position. So you're going to round the back, and as you round the back, your elbows are going to come together in front of you towards the center of your chest. Good. And then we're going to unfurl ourselves, open the elbows, and then come back into your high kneel position. And this is really all about the roundness in the back. So you can hinge a little bit to send your butt back behind you if you feel like that's getting you more roundness through the back. But obviously, like the closer your elbows come together in front of you, the more roundness you're gonna get. And I really want you to think about every time you bring the elbows together and you round through your back to send your belly button towards your spine so that you can start to activate good through the core, through the deep core. Nice.
Tucking my chin also really helps with the roundness here.
Yeah, majorly. I was caulking my friend's living room yesterday for 4 hours, and I was then writing this class, and my back was in so much pain, and then this is how this was born, out of caulking, just so you know.
Out of necessity?
Yeah. All right, we're going to take 3 more. Nice, good. Try to keep the elbows lifted in line with the shoulders so that we can also get a nice little shoulder moment. All right, we're gonna take 1 more. Good, really bringing the belly button in towards the spine as you furl, and then unfurl yourself. Meet me in a high kneel position with your arms into that goalpost. We're gonna start to side bend over to the left, and then we're gonna come back center, and then we're gonna side bend over to the right. So, a few things here. Common mistake number 1, as you side bend, people tend to just like go down towards the floor, but you actually want to think about like going up and over. So imagine you had like a giant beach ball and you're kind of like stretching yourself out to the side. Yeah, good. In addition to going down, like the down will kind of like automatically happen. Think more about going up and over. Good. And then if the arms don't feel good in this position, you can just bring the hands behind your head if you still want a little bit of shoulder but a little less, or you can bring your hands onto your hips or into prayer. You can just play around with it.
Yeah, this is a lot of load on the shoulders, holding them here.
Yeah.
Surprisingly
exactly. So. I know. It always, all the little chicken arm variations really get you. All right, we're gonna start adding on. Next time you side bend over to the right, I want you to extend the right arm out to the side as you side bend. So the arm straightens out to the side as you side bend, and then bring the arm back into goalpost position as you come back center, and then the other side. So we're gonna start obviously feeling our shoulders, because duh, but also you're gonna start feeling your obliques, and you might feel what is called the QL. So it's the muscle in your middle back that attaches your rib cage to your pelvis. You have 2 of them. But if you're feeling a lot of QL, it's likely because you're side bending too much like down. You're not doing enough of like the up and over situation, which is what will really help you engage through the obliques. All right, we have 6. How are we feeling?
Good. I'm also trying to press my pelvis forward as I side bend.
Yes, very good reminder from our other instructor over here in the room, attention, is to not send your butt back behind you, so you don't want the crease in the hips. All right, let's take 2 more.
Oh, I'm really feeling the shoulders and the obliques.
I know, it's a lot. Okay, next time your right arm is long, you're gonna hold it there. We're gonna keep the arm straight, just send the arm up towards the ceiling and then bring it down to where it came from. So you're drawing a little rainbow up and down with the arm. Nice. Good job. Still trying to hold the left arm into that goalpost position. Nice. Good. Keep pressing your pelvis forward. Really strong. All right, we have 6, and make sure you really have that up and over sensation, not just the going down. So the arm is going to increase a little bit of load on the obliques. We have 4.
Whew.
For 3. Really strong. Good. All right, for 2. Beautiful. Give me one more sweep all the way up, and then we're gonna plant our hand down to the mat in line with the body, but I want the hand further forward than the shoulder, and you're gonna extend that top leg long, but keep the toes onto the floor, and then that top arm can go all the way up to the ceiling. All right, keep the toes on the floor to get started. We're just gonna lift that bottom hip up a few inches, and then you're gonna bring it back to that neutral position that you started off with, and we're gonna keep going. So as I was walking Emma through the class just before we started recording, she was like, I don't know if like this feels really good, because she was actually sending her hips down and then back to neutral instead of up and then back to neutral, which is not going to feel good. So really focus on sending the hip up and then back to that neutral position. That's another common mistake.
Almost like a lift from here. Like you want this part of your body to lift you up.
Exactly. So you should feel a little bit more bottom oblique, bottom glute, and then bottom shoulder. And if you feel too tight, you can send that bottom hand further forward so you have like more space. Yeah. All right. We're going to keep going for 6.
Whew.
Beautiful. Good. All right. For 5. Nice. Good. All right. For 4. Beautiful job. Good. All right. For 3, still keep the core engaged so belly button goes towards your spine. Good. For 2. Really reach that top hand up to the ceiling. All right, meet me with the hip lifted, and you're gonna hold. Now we're gonna lift that top leg up towards the ceiling. Good, and then you're gonna tap the foot back down, and we're gonna keep going. If you want something more challenging, instead of tapping the toes down to the mat, you can stop about halfway so the foot stays flying, basically.
A little hover.
All right, yeah, for 8.
It's also a lot
Beautiful.
of
Keep
bottom
pressing out of
side glute. Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah. Yes, and bottom shoulder.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked if the shoulder is on fire. And keep pressing the pelvis forward. All right, for 4, I love it when we're so in sync. All right, for 3. Good. All right, for 2. Okay, we're gonna hold that top leg lifted, and you're gonna hold. Top arm is gonna thread under the bottom armpit. So we're gonna rotate through the upper body, unstack the hips for this, so you get a ton of rotation. Good job. And then we're gonna come back to where you came from, unthread the needle, send the top arm high to the ceiling. Keep the leg lifted. If that's too much, you can always put the toes down onto the floor.
We don't often do a hip unstack.
I know, but I love it. It actually adds a ton of oblique.
Yeah, I really like it.
And you can also, if you want to add a little bit of tricep, as you thread, you can also bend through the right elbow. Emma's automatically doing it, but it'll actually give you more range of motion. And then that way you get a little bit of tricep. Yeah. All right. We have 4. Good job. You should be feeling top side glute by now just by holding the leg. Good. All right. For 3, keep breathing. Maybe try to bend the right elbow even more now that you only have 2 left after this. Good. For 2. Nice job. Okay. Really strong. All right, last one, you're gonna meet me in your thread the needle, we're gonna hold, and now we're just gonna pulse the hips up and down. So same thing as we started off with, it's a teeny, tiny lift and lower the hips. Good. If it's too much with the leg lifted, Jesus Christ today, can't talk, then you could just put it down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. Nice job. Okay, you can take a little child's pose if you need. I know, harder than it seems, huh?
Very challenging.
Okay, my little painter, we're gonna come down onto our right forearm. So come down onto your right forearm, so you're lying down on your right side, right forearm, bottom leg is bent, top leg is nice and long, and foot is on the floor, the top foot. And make sure that that front knee is pretty much in line with the bottom hip. We're gonna bring the top forearm down onto the floor. Now both forearms are down onto the floor and both sets of fingers are facing towards 12 p.m. So your top of your body is rotated down towards the floor, but then your hips are open. All right, we're gonna start by pressing out of both of our hands, extend through the arms, keep the top toes down onto the floor, and then we're gonna come all the way back down to the forearms, and we're gonna keep going. So this is a little bit of like a funky setup here, and you can play with the placement of that bottom leg. For some people, it's gonna feel better to bring that bottom knee closer to the face, so in line with the hip, and then for some people, it's gonna feel better to have it a little bit further away from the face, just like Emma has. So play around with it. What really matters here is that your upper body is facing down towards the floor and that your legs, your lower body is like open out towards the side. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Nice. We're gonna keep going. We have 6. So we're working through our triceps right now. Good. We're also using our obliques. Good to hold us in this rotation. Nice. And if you want something a little bit more challenging, then maybe you don't actually tap the elbows all the way down to the floor. You stop about like 90% of the way. All right. For 4. Nice. How are we doing for 3?
I'm also really trying to engage my core to not feel it in my low back. This is tough for me. This is a very tight position, I was saying to Claire earlier.
Yeah, if it's too tight for you, just like decrease the range.
Yeah.
Like don't come all the way up to straight arms. Like just find a spot that feels good for you. All right, we're gonna get one more full arm extension, and then you're gonna meet me down onto the forearms. So the forearms are pressed down to the floor, and you're gonna hold. All right, we're gonna lift that top leg up a few inches, so towards the ceiling, and then we're gonna tap it back down. And we're gonna keep going. Nice, so keep pressing out of the forearms to really engage through the upper back. Core is engaged, so belly button goes in towards the spine, ribs are knitted together, and that top leg is nice and straight. Good, and if you're starting to feel it in your back, don't lift the leg as high as Emma, just make it smaller. Yeah, nice job.
This is a lot of shoulders.
8. I know. Boy, especially after the little goalpost.
Yeah. And side glute.
6.
I'm feeling it.
Exactly. For 5. Nice. Good for 4. Perfection. Good for 3. Abs in a little bit more. Good for 2. Okay. Last one, you're going to hold that leg lifted and you're going to hold. The left hand is going to come off the floor and you're going to open the left hand out to the left just a few inches, tap it out to the side, and then bring the forearm back to where it came from. And we're going to keep going. So forearm goes down onto the floor when you bring the hand back in, and then you're just tapping out to the side, forearm is off the floor as you open. And try to hold that top leg lifted. If it's too much, put the foot down to the floor. All right, we have 6, and then we're just gonna hold and pulse through the leg. Nice, keep breathing for 5.
Am I sinking down to the floor?
A little bit, yeah. So really press out of the forearm. Good, all right, for 3, and make the arm tap smaller if it's too much or you're feeling like something icky in your back. For 2, the arm doesn't need to go fully straight as you tap. Hold the hand open, hold, now pulse the leg up and down. Last little thing, good for 10, abs in for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. Nice job. Okay, that was amazing. All right, let's take a little pigeon on this side. So bring your right shin forward onto the mat. And then left leg is gonna be nice and long behind you. And then you can either stay propped up onto your hands or come down onto your forearms and just swivel your hips side to side for a second, if that feels good for you.
Okay, by the way,
right.
on the color front, am I coming back up?
Yeah, you're coming back up into a high kneel position. You can tell me, but let's get set up. So into your high kneel position, arms into the goalpost position, pelvis is pressed forward. Let's just side bend side to start. So start any direction that you want, up and over, come back center, and then come back center, and then the other side. Okay, what were you gonna say?
That colored companies have like major monopolies over specific color formulas. It's like a big industry. So like Pantone releases the color of the year, but I watched a documentary about Pantone recently.
Wait, what do you mean? So they just
they like own the formulas to certain
7?
colors, and like other people can't use them. And they have like a standard book of colors that everyone uses.
Like the exact, like does it have to be the exact color? Like what if mine is like slightly lighter? Well, then that's fine. For 4?
Yeah, but like they own the formula.
Meet me and side bend over to the left, and you're gonna hold. All right, your left arm is gonna go nice and long, and you're gonna hold it there. Okay, we're gonna sweep it up like a rainbow, and then bring it back down to the floor, and we're gonna keep going. So you're holding your right arm, good, in the goalpost position. You're holding your side bend over to the left, and your left arm is just sweeping up and down. Keep your pelvis pressed forward. Nice. All right, we have 6. Good. All right, for 5. Nice. People really do want to trademark everything. For 4, and just like own. People love to own. All right, for 2. Good. All right, you're going to give me one more sweep up of the arm. And then you're gonna plant the hand down to the floor pretty far in front of your shoulder, and you're gonna extend that right leg nice and long, keep the toes onto the floor, and then reach that right arm all the way up to the ceiling. All right, we're just gonna start with those little hip lifts. Lift the hips up an inch, and then come back to where you came from. And we're gonna keep going. Yeah, good. Little lift, little lower. Keep pressing that pelvis forward as much as you can. And if you feel too tight, you can adjust that bottom hand. So send it forward a little bit. Nice. What's the name of the documentary?
Oh, I don't know. Documentary is probably an overstatement. It was like a YouTube video.
If you're interested, link to documentary is in the comments. That counts.
It's like when people say they read an article and it was a TikTok.
That is not okay. For 6. All right, good. For 5. For 4, keep pressing out of the bottom hand to really open up through that bottom shoulder. All right, good. For 2. Nice. Okay, hold the hip lifted. You're gonna hold. That top leg is gonna lift up, and then we're gonna come all the way back down. So either tapping the floor or stopping at a hover, depending on what you did on the other side. You should be doing the same thing, so just adjust. Yeah. All right, so this is where the butt really wanna it'll wanna lag behind you, so press the pelvis forward as much as you can. All right, we have 6.
I'm quivering a bit.
Right. For 5. Wow, this is supposed to be a medium. Is it going to be a hard?
No, I think it's a great medium. It's just I'm challenged.
Wow, guys, look at this. All right, last one. Hold the leg lifted, and you're going to hold. All right, we're going to thread the needle. So you're going to unstack the hips, bend through the left arm a little bit as you thread to get a little tricep. Good. And then we're going to unthread, come back to where you came from. If it's too much to have that top leg lifted, and if you drop the foot down onto the other side, then drop it again. Yeah, nice, good. So the more of a rotation you get, the more obliques you're gonna get, and also the more you can bend through the left arm, so the more tricep you're gonna get. All right, we have 6. All right, for 5. Nice, breathe, abs in as much as you can. Good. All right, for 3.
I'm struggling to keep the leg lifted. Wow.
I mean, it's pretty hard to keep that a top side glute like really engaged and not want to give up on it. Okay, keep breathing. All right, you're gonna give me one more thread. You're gonna hold the thread, hold that leg lifted, and you're just gonna hold, and we're just gonna post the hips up and down. So up and then back to neutral. So it's teeny tiny. You should barely be moving. Good for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. Nice job. All right, take a little moment, roll out the wrists if you need. All right, and then we're gonna get into that like funky side glute series. So we're gonna start onto our left forearm, come lay all the way down into your left side. Bottom leg is bent, top leg is nice and long. Keep the top leg onto the floor, and then we're gonna bring that right forearm down onto the floor and pivot both of your forearms to 12 o'clock in front of you. All right, we're gonna start by pressing out of both of our hands, extend through the arms, and then we're gonna come all the way back down. So remember, if this is too much for your back, don't extend all the way with the arms. You don't have to go all the way. It's a little bit more tricep, but like you should feel it in the right places. So only go about like 75% of the way if it's too much. What's the point in them having like a color of the year? Like just marketing?
I think it's just marketing. But yeah, they basically have made it easy for designers to use their colors and like communicate via color. And they've been doing it for forever. And so it's really hard for other like color companies to come in and use their colors basically.
For 6? That's so smart.
It is so smart.
I mean, they have like a million shades of beige. Truly. All right, we had 6. I'm just like, I guess the computer makes the like ratios of primary colors. I'm just like very impressed how it knows. All right, for 2, you know what I mean? I'm like, how does it know exactly how many squirts? All right, last one. Meet me down onto your forearms and you're gonna hold. We're gonna lift that top leg up a few inches and then we're gonna bring it all the way back down. And we're gonna keep going. So really press out of your forearms to keep your shoulder blades open. Nice. Good. Okay. Beautiful. Abs it as much as you can. Good. So remember, your upper body should really feel like it's twisted down towards the floor, and your hip should feel open. All right. We have 5. Nice job. Good. All right. For 4. Good. All right. For 3. Keep breathing. Nice. For 2. Really strong. All right. Hold that leg lifted. Hold. All right. Right hand is going to open out to the right. Come tap it out. Good. And then come back down to the forearm. So you don't need to get the arm all the way straight as you tap if it feels like icky in your back. Just go about halfway if that feels good for you. The point, good, is that you're loading up through your left shoulder a little bit more. You're engaging through your core to prevent rotation of the upper body towards the right as you tap. Good, and obviously your side glute is just there in the background, isometric holding. All right, we have 5. Beautiful.
The side glute is insane.
Yeah,
and the left shoulder.
For 3, I find side glute series really boring these days, so I'm trying to like make them more creative.
Yeah.
For 2, all right, you're gonna hold the arm open and you're gonna hold and pulse the leg up and down. For 10, 9, abs in, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Come all the way down.
Wow.
Okay, we're immediately gonna come into that pigeon, so bring your left leg forward. So left shin forward, right leg is all the way straight, and then start onto your hands, and then if that feels good for you, you can come down into your forearms. What have you painted?
What have I painted?
Like where you're going to the paint store to get like a tub of paint, not like little brush watercolor vibes.
You mean like paint from Home Depot? Like what have I painted?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like why have you gone to Home Depot to get like a thing of paint? What is it called? A tub?
Yeah.
Come all the way
like
up.
a quart.
A quart.
I've painted lots of things.
You're still not telling me what. Okay, we're gonna come to a standing position. Your feet are gonna be an external rotation, and I want your feet to be pretty wide, so approximately the width of your mat. And then we're gonna bring our hands onto our hips. We're gonna bend our knees as you hinge forward. So it's a sumo squat meets a hinge. So bend your knees, hinge forward. So really stick your butt out behind you. And then we're gonna come all the way up to stand. And we're gonna keep going. So you should feel like your legs are pretty wide. So much wider than your hips. But if they're too wide, obviously bring them in a little bit. There's not a perfect science, all right? Just wide, a little bit wider than your hips. Good. And the most important thing here is as you bend the knees to really stick your butt out. So I love to start with the hands on the hips so that you can really feel the hinge. Okay, are you gonna tell me what you've painted with your quart?
Well, we painted our house. I helped my dad paint our basement, like my family home basement. I helped a friend paint her, like the inside of her business.
For 8?
And is that enough examples?
So you have
for you?
That's a lot of examples. So you have experience with the foam roller?
Yeah.
For 5?
Yeah, and just like a regular paintbrush, and the taping and all that.
Guys, she's advanced.
A pro.
For 4? I thought I was like, this was like inventive with me. For 3?
I'm pretty handy.
I was like filming. Yeah, I mean, clearly. For 2? I'm painting my dresser, just if you're interested, to like a dark red. All right, you're gonna meet me down there and you're gonna hold. Enough chatting. Hands are gonna come down onto the floor pretty far in front of you so that you can lift your heels off of the mat. Good. And then very slowly bring your heels back down, remove the hands off the floor, bring them back onto the hips, and come all the way up to a standing position. And we're gonna keep going. Bend the knees, come down into your sumo. Hands plant on the floor pretty far in front of you. Lift your heels. Slowly bring the heels down and then remove the hands and come all the way up to stand. So you can make this more dynamic in the sense that you can go a little bit faster than we typically do, but the piece where I want you to go really slow is when you lower the heels back down onto the floor so that we can engage through the legs a little bit more and your core. Yeah, good. All right, so you're gonna feel your quads, you're gonna feel your glutes, you're gonna feel a little bit of inner thigh.
Going slow on the way up really does make such a difference because I can actually focus on connecting to my heels and my glutes instead of just pushing up off my toes.
Exactly. Thank you. Round of applause. So, very important. When you lower the heels, pay attention to them so that you can really propel out of them as you come all the way back up, and we can use our glutes and not just a ton of quads. So if you're propelling from the toes as you come back up, you're gonna feel a lot of quads, which is fine. Like, no quad haters, but the quads are working already in this, so we just wanna make this a little bit more full body for you. So try to connect to the glutes via the heels. All right. we're gonna start to add on. Next time you're down there and hands are planted, heels are lifted, you're gonna hold. I want you to take one pretty big step forward with the hand so that you can extend the legs fully. So straighten the legs, good. And then you're gonna bring the hands back one pretty big footprint so that you're back into a bent leg position. Good, now lower the heels and then come all the way back up to stand. All right, so we've added our final little layer. So bend, plant the hands, lift the heels. Once the heels are lifted, step forward with the hands, one big footprint, straighten the legs. Good. Now bend the legs as you bring the hands back a footprint, lower the heels, and then come all the way up to stand. My little frog. All right, we have 8. Yeah, I know, we love a dynamic end. Nice. I've been rocking and rolling with these.
I'm sweating.
Good. Beautiful. All right, let's take 5 more.
Wow.
Okay. Good. Nice. When you're in your full plank position, make sure that your butt is in line with your shoulders. Okay. Really strong. Let's take 3. She's feeling it.
Yeah. Also, the plank step out is pretty challenging to keep my body centered.
And try to, exactly. And try to stay like in your plank for a second before you come all the way in. Back up. Okay, we're gonna take one more and we're gonna meet into that plank position. Nice. And you're just gonna hold the plank position. All right, I want you to send all the weight forward onto your toes so your feet are still externally rotated, and then send your weight back towards your heels. And we're gonna keep going. Try to lift the butt up a little bit, Emma, so that your butt is in line with your shoulders. Yeah, good. All right, we're gonna keep going. If this feels too strange for your hips, you can bring the feet into a parallel position, so remove the external rotation. For 5, nice job. Good for 4. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good for 3. Nice, good. All right, for 2, really strong. Give me one more. Meet me center, so heels are neutral, and just hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees. Come all the way down. Take a child's pose. Wow.
Wow.
Take a nice big child's pose.
Sweaty.
All right, we're gonna give a little stretch for our shoulders because we already stretched out our little legs and we can't do everything always. So we're gonna thread the right arm under the left armpit. All right, and then you're gonna crawl your left hand forward as much as you can and then really press your right shoulder down to the floor so you get a nice big twisty situation. Any advice on how to avoid streaks as I use my foam roller?
Advice
Other
on
side.
avoiding streaks. I'm not that much of a pro. Don't be skimpy with the paint. You have to get the right amount of paint on the brush.
You're conflicting what the paint man said. He said, don't put too much paint. Now I'm afraid. Send both arms forward in front of you and just one last little child's pose. Take a big inhale. Take a big exhale. And she's all done.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Congratulations.
Loved
I'm
that.
very proud of you.
Thank you,
All right, wish me luck for my painting. Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Nellie.